State Building.
Martin Garrix, a global phenomenon in electric dance music, one of the most celebrated DJs of our time. Just 28, he's achieved unparalleled success, multiple MTV EMAs, Billboard Awards, DJ Magazine titles, from your breakout hit Animals, which made you the youngest producer to top Beatport, to your collaborations with stars like Dua Lipa, Ed Sheeran. You became a household name in EDM and in music. As the founder of your own record label, you continue to innovate with your latest single, Told You So, featuring Jex, releasing now. I mean, it's out now. Your global hits, massive festival performance, millions of fans worldwide. You remain at the forefront of modern music.
Wow, what an intro.
I'm Martin Garrix.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be with you. I was sharing how usually when I see you, I'm like screaming, trying to run to the front of your barricade there, and being able to hang out with you here in studio is so cool.
Happy to be here.
So thank you for coming. We have so much to celebrate. We're going to start with your new single.
Yes.
Told You So. I was listening to it on repeat. What a voice from Jex.
Yeah, she's amazing.
How did that happen?
It's a crazy story. She posted this hook on TikTok where it's her behind the piano, and she put in the caption like, which producer / DJ do you hear finish this record? And so many people sent it to me, and next thing I got introduced to her, start going back and forth on versions. We met in Vegas, rewrote some parts from the verse and the pre, spent a lot of time on the production, and Told You So was born.
Wow, so you were like, this is kind of cool. A lot of people are tagging and sending me this.
Yeah,
and
it
is great.
It was cool because normally you're in a studio, you write something from scratch, and this was like her pitching this idea on TikTok, and it got a lot of traction. And the moment I heard it, I was like, oh my god, it gives me like the nostalgia, EDM 2012 vibes, and that's also the direction I wanted to go with the production. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of people tagging you now and trying to do the similar thing and trying to get you to work with them?
Yeah, well, I always in general, I love social media. I love finding amazing voices online. But this was cool because it was I hadn't heard of Jex, and she has such a cool voice. And then during the process of working together, I got to meet her, got to know her as a person, and she's an absolute beauty. Super sweet, super thoughtful. Very shy. I remember in Amsterdam, I pulled her on stage to perform the song for the first time, and she did amazing. But she'd never performed before, so it was for her and for me. It was such a cool moment.
It's really cool in your position being a producer because you can work with these voices that, like you said, no one really. You didn't even know her. A lot of people didn't know her, but then you put her on a song, or you put these artists on a song, and then they blow up and become an artist and sing from where it started to them grow. I mean, how cool is that?
It's very special. But to be honest, Jex was already an amazing artist before I even got involved, and I'm grateful she allowed me to work on the production of the song, because the hook speaks for itself. It's a very catchy piano melody. I love the lyrics, and I'm very happy with how the song turned out.
And when I first heard it too today, I did hear that nostalgic tone.
Yeah.
The exact 2012, what you're saying, like I'm graduating high school.
Amazing.
And like I'm out at Coachella and all these things.
Amazing.
So what made you want to go back to that moment now when you're producing?
I think just in general, like it's what the hook, it made me feel like those days. And I wanted to emphasize it on the production, also added the strings, made it sound like Garrix. I just had fun. I tried a bunch of different directions for the production, but this direction felt right.
Mm-hmm. And also, I want to say congratulations. You're crowned #1 DJ in DJ Magazine's Top 100 again this year.
Yeah.
And it's an honor because now you've been able to tie the record with Armin van Buuren, who is just a huge name in the DJ space. So when you found this out again, where were you? How'd you feel?
It was very, caught me very off guard. I was like, what? But to me, being in that list in general is very surreal. I mean, I'm in the list with every single DJ and producer I look up to, and I grew up listening to. So, yeah, I'm very happy to be even part of the list. I don't really care on what position. But to tie with Armin is surreal.
And then we see that as you're evolving in your artistry, you've been dibbling in different genres. What makes you expand your music repertoire? Like, what is some things that.
I just think in general, like experimenting. If I always gonna do something where I'm in my comfort zone and I feel safe, like I'm never gonna challenge myself, you know. And I think any producer, any collaboration I do, I want the collaborator to pull me out of my comfort zone and meet in the middle. So I definitely, and I still learn every day. Every session, every person I meet, every singer, songwriter, instrumentalist, I want to take their art and learn from it and create together. And I think that's the exciting part. Every day I was in the studio here last night till late, then tonight doing a show in Vegas, and tomorrow I got a studio session in Vegas. So whenever I can, even with the traveling, I just like to create, write new stuff, and then afterwards I see, okay, is this going to be Garrix? Is it going to be for someone else? But I just, most importantly, I'm just having fun.
Yeah, and we see that with your music and what you put out. And we also know that it's sometimes hard to stick to your roots because that might not be what the mainstream media wants. Right now we see country is taking, a huge shine. Have you ever thought of just kind of switching really drastically or working with people in genres you've never touched before?
100%. As I said earlier, I like to be out of my comfort zone, and I've been working with so many different artists in the last few years where I learned a lot. And of course, I would never fully abandon my original roots and this, but I want to always try and bring the Garrix sound combined with a new sound. But then Told You So is a very nostalgic. Before that, I released a bunch of progressive, like high energy Martin Garrix songs. Next year, I'm gonna release a bunch of not 128 BPM stuff.
Wow.
I like to have fun. I'm sitting on a huge database of songs, and now we're just cherry picking. Okay, this one I'm gonna finish first. This one is gonna be the next release.
Oh,
It's all very exciting.
oh yeah, and it's also cool seeing you on stage. You're hitting that you are at Amsterdam and you are at Dubai. Yesterday, this is crazy that you just hop from one place in the world to the next. Tonight you're in Vegas. Do you have any? I mean, a lot of these nights sometimes you've done so many and you're getting so much love. Is there any nights or is there any moments from the festivals you've done that really stand out to you?
Um, in general, like this year has been. We're almost at the end of this year, and this year's been amazing in so many ways.
Yeah.
I've played some of my favorite shows ever.
Really?
Yeah,
Like which ones?
I did 4 shows at Bill Graham. That was surreal. I did a South America tour earlier this year, and I'm going back there next week for 2 more shows, which was super special. Ultra Miami, always for me is a big one.
What does Ultra bring to you when you think of it?
Happiness and stress. No, no.
What
Ultra.
do you mean stress?
No, I always want to deliver and premiere so much new unreleased Martin Garrix music there. So, stress is maybe not the right word, but pressure. Like, and being there on stage is such a. I grew up watching the live stream of all my idols performing there, so to be able to share the stage with them it's surreal, and yeah, I'm very excited. I just got announced for next year, and I'm already. This is like 5 months ahead. I'm already like thinking, okay, which songs do I want to play there? What new intro am I gonna do? So it's very, very much ahead thinking.
When you're saying that now, it does make sense because you have the crowd there live. So if you're doing something good, you're going to see it. But if you're kind of flopping, you're going to see it too.
100%.
So having that pressure on yourself, you have a new song you want to release. Are they going to vibe? Are they going to like it? Is it going to be awkward?
Yeah, and then I also want to do a good balance between OG Martin Garrix songs and premiere a lot of unreleased stuff. But if I only play unreleased stuff, people are going to be like, oh, we missed the old Garrix, or like we missed the old sounds. But if I only play the old stuff, they're like, oh, set is always the same. I'm like, come on. So there's a very fine line that I'm trying to dance around.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to be back, and also I'm very excited. We're gonna do a lot of shows also stateside next year, and also visit some markets that I haven't visited in a long time. So
Wow. Congrats on that. Now back to when you're performing your stuff and playing your stuff in real life. There are artists sometimes that they don't even play their old stuff anymore. They're like, I've played it way too much. I'm over it. But there's other artists that are like, I know it's what the fans want, so I'm going to give it to them. Where do you stand on that?
I love it. I love playing my older songs. I think it's part of my identity, you know. And of course, I can make like new edits, and I'll use older vocals, but then I mash it up with like a new unreleased song if I don't have vocals written for a new song yet. So yeah, with every Garrix show, I try to bring like the old school memories, but also like a lot of new energy, new unreleased songs. Yeah, combination of both.
Yeah. Well, we're also excited to see that you're you're going to be in Vegas tonight, which is kind of crazy because we're in New York City, obviously, right now.
Yeah.
Does that ever get like old to you, knowing, you know what, I'm going to be in a different part of the world in just a few hours? Like, how do you even wrap your brain around that?
I love it. I love traveling, and sometimes the flight's a bit gnarly. Yesterday was 15 hours on the plane from Dubai to here in New York.
So what are you doing?
I was sleeping and doing emails, and the most boring thing ever, I was structuring files and renaming and doing some organizing on
Good
the.
for you, because if you don't do that, it's gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
on your driving.
100%. So it was a productive flight, and then tonight the show in Vegas. Then tomorrow 2 more shows in Vegas. Then I go home for a few days, and then South America.
Whoa. Well, it's huge that you're doing the F1 in Vegas.
Yeah,
I mean, I have never seen that before, and it's new, and
it's wild. You should definitely go to
tell
the
me
F1.
about it.
It's just adrenaline, energy. It's a spectacle, and I love racing. This weekend is actually a very exciting race because it will decide if Max Verstappen becomes world champion or if Lando still has a chance to become world champion in the next 2 races. So, and I'm good friends with both, so I'm Switzerland. I'm like in the middle.
Yeah.
But either way, like I highly recommend going to the race. It's super fun, and yeah,
Whoa.
I'm very excited for this weekend.
Yes, of course. And when you're talking about you're gonna take a few days off to go back home,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Studio time.
It's all work. It's all
Yeah, well,
work.
for me, like studio is like it's a way of like I can really relax there, mess around, do my own thing. There's some stuff I've been working on while on the road, and I just want to be able to listen to it on my own system.
Oh, because you have the everything just.
Yeah, I'm so used to my room at my studio at my house, so and I can do only so much on headphones and in studios that I rent. So
Oh.
to be able to properly finish something, I want to be home, and there's some things on my finish and to-do list. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to work on that.
Well, cool. And then we also know that you have such a strong connection with your fans. They go out everywhere you are. You sometimes probably see the same fans over and over and over again. Do you have any of those interactions that stand out to you? Someone or a group that.
Yeah, there's a fan this year, and he has a T-shirt of every show he went to, and I think he's over 40 shows that he went to this year, which is like it's incredible. And in general, like there's so many familiar faces that I'll recognize, even just from the posters that they put up. Because while you're on stage, you can see a lot. You can see a lot of faces. It's fun. It's like a family, and we travel all over the world together. Get to share all these amazing experiences, shows together. I'm very grateful and very because it feels like a family.
Over 40 shows. Does this person have a job? Like, how do they do this?
It's amazing. Like
That's crazy.
at the show at Dubai, he was there
He
as
was
well.
in Dubai too.
Yeah, I was like,
Like, I saw you in Kentucky, but now I'm seeing you today in Dubai.
yeah, but it's such a the whole fan base, like everybody is friends with each other. It's a beautiful thing, and I think it's much bigger than just my music. Because music is one thing, but I feel like the way they're there for each other, and it's beautiful. Because music brings people together, and then the way they meet up all over the world, it's very cool to see.
You said it like a family,
Yeah.
which is so dope. And
Yeah.
now you started your own family with Stampede Records,
Yeah.
having your own record label, scouting out talent, mentoring them. How has that process been?
Stamped Records has been super fun. I think it's already 6-7 years that we've been doing it. It's just fun. Like there's so many crazy talented producers out there.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to use Stamped as like a platform, and also my platform to push new producers, new DJs into the world. We're doing super cool pop-ups at festivals where we program the lineup.
Wow.
It's fun, and same thing. Like it's like a family. Like we play each other's demos, feedback each other's demos to perfection. Then I'll play it live. I'm like, oh, hey, the low end sounded was struggling a bit. Maybe focus more on the low end when you're back in the studio. It's like, and vice versa. If I'm stuck on something, I send it to one of the guys.
Dang.
It's really fun, and it's amazing in general. If you have a passion for something, it's amazing to be surrounded with people who share the same passion, because it's contagious.
And there must be so many people that want to work with you and want to be on your label. So how do you differentiate all the talent and decide, this person, I have a feeling?
We have an amazing A&R division, which does scouting, etc. We go through so many demos a day, and then also word of mouth. Like if there's like a new producer that a lot of people are talking about, I'll be one of the first to jump on and be like, okay, what send me demos, etc. Let's work. Or we'll be like, hey, we have these stems for a new Garrix song. Do you want to try out a remix? Sometimes the remix is better than the original. I'll end up playing the.
You're like, I'm gonna put that one over here.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll end up playing the remix.
That's cool.
It happened before. I did a song a long time ago, So Far Away, and Osrin did a remix, and he put it online on SoundCloud. It wasn't even an official remix, and right now he's one of my closest collaborators. We work on so many. I think we have more than 40 songs together, and that started as him just being like, well, let me try out this remix. So there's many ways to be scouted on Stampede.
Wow. And I want to go back to your shows because, like we said, you're doing Dubai, the New York, back-to-back Vegas. What do you do to make sure that your mental and your body is prepared for these really high-intensity shows?
So the amazing thing is the shows is incredible. It's such a adrenaline rush. But then what's weird is like you can be on stage with like 50,000 people, but then directly after you're in your hotel room staring at the ceiling. So that contrast, that balance has been tricky in the past.
You can barely even sleep.
There's so much adrenaline. It's crazy. There's shows where I get off stage and I'm like shaking from the adrenaline. But I started touring when I was 15, 16. So it's 12 years ago.
Yeah, you're an expert now.
Well, I feel like in the beginning it would be very lonely at times, but now like I have my family with me on a lot of shows. Wow. Also the team around me.
Along?
My sister, my parents. My parents are joining to New Year's Eve.
Wait, what?
So I feel like, and also with the team in general, because we've been traveling so much together. We're it's also like another family. You have with you while you travel. Everybody's there for each other. It's amazing.
Wow, how does your family around keep you grounded when you're?
Yeah, they gave me shit if I. they make sure I don't do anything crazy.
They put you in check.
Yeah, 100%.
That's so important.
Even like if it's like it comes down to like me with like a crazy expense, the first person to call me is my father. Like, Martin.
What has he called you about?
Like spontaneous real estate. Where I was like, I fell in love with the city. I'm like, oh, I could see myself spend way more time here. And luckily, he talked me out of those things. But
good.
It's good to have like an extra layer of common sense.
That's so true. He's like in charge of your finances now.
Yeah.
I love that. This is actually usually a tough question to get an answer from, but it's really up to you how you want to answer this. If you could ask one of your favorite artists a question, who would it be, and maybe what would you ask?
Wow. That's a crazy question. Probably be to the guys from Daft Punk, like how it was like creating those songs. Because at the time they were probably, I just can't imagine like being in the studio at that time when electronic music was like not as crazy as how it is nowadays, and like their songs are so timeless. So I'd love to know like, well, I guess you cannot predict the future, but I think that's the Daft Punk songs, like you can play them 30 years later and they're still timeless records. So I'd love to know the secret trick to time the songs.
Have you hung out with them before?
No, I'd love to, but
Wow.
like I really look up to them. Justice, I saw them live in Vegas the other week. There's just, and then there's a lot of nerd producer questions like, what do you have on your master chain? How did you make this sound? What sample is this from? But yeah, I won't bore you guys with that on the radio.
No, that's cool. No, that's really cool. I didn't. That was a great answer.
Okay, cool.
And I know that you've also wanted to work with Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Yeah.
You said before that you'd love to collaborate with him. Have you had a chance to link up or talk or?
Yeah, we've been talking, and it's actually crazy because they integrated one of my songs in their tour.
How did that happen?
I got a text from Chris, and he was like, "Hey, we're listening to your song Breakaway, and we'd love to have it be part of our Glastonbury performance." And I was like, "Hell yeah, please!" And then I remember I was watching the live stream, and I was just like pinching myself, like, "Is this really happening?" And now they integrated it in their full tour. So every time they play a crazy stadium show and they play the song, I get tagged in my stories, and it's very special. And Chris and also the rest of the band, like, they're so kind, so sweet, so thoughtful. And even though they're the biggest band in the world, they're also some of the nicest people I've ever had the chance of meeting in the industry. So a lot of respect to them.
Oh, 100%. I love Coldplay too. So no,
Amazing.
oh my gosh, that's so cool. You can just text him. I like to wrap up our conversations asking, in this very moment right now where you're sitting down, how does it feel to be Martin Garrix?
It's weird. Like, it's fun, but it's also like sometimes I see videos of like me at Ultra 10 years ago, and I'm like, like it almost feels like it's not me in a way, because it like everything I do, I'm always thinking about, okay, what's next? Like right now, we released Told You So today. My whole brain the whole day has been like finishing the song I started last night. So
It's like hard to even take in the moment.
yeah, and then there's sometimes moments where you look back and you're like, oh wow, it's important to sometimes take a breather. I'm not good at taking breathers, but no, being Martin Garrix is fun. It's very surreal to be supported by so many people and doing what I love. It's very special.
And what about the fans? What do you say to them?
Thanks for everything. Every single day is like a dream. Thanks to you guys.
Yes, that's awesome. I loved this conversation. Thanks for being so open and
Thank
honest.
you.
And you're just such a cool, jolly guy.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that your family's there to support you, because you're right. Like, the beginning, it was tough, but it looks like all the good things are happening for you.
Thank you so much.
Keep that going with Chris Martin. I can't wait for you guys' collab to come out soon.
Oh, one day, hopefully, one day.
Thank you so much, Martin Garrix.
Cheers. Thank you.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
C100.